Hi everyone, it's Adrian Leah. I have a long video. I wanted to show a couple of things. I am going to show my finished woven tartan scarf that is a holiday scarf, and I didn't feel like working on it for the longest time, but now that it's cooling down, I just wanted to start working on it, and I really powered through it because I wanted to get the project finished and because I wanted to make one of my dream projects. It's the Sea Spirit scarf. It's something that I'll talk about in a couple of minutes when I show the yarn that I'll be using for the scarf. I feel um, like I might be, I wouldn't say that it's like going to be a little bit of a quicker video, but I did have a frozen coffee frap from Wawa. I still have it. I haven't finished it. I'm a slow drinker. But it's the pumpkin spice frapped with oat milk, and I'm happy they have the oat milk option. So it's usually the milk substitution that I go for, and it is like it's past 10 right now, but I'm not working tomorrow, so it's okay that I got the frozen coffee. Um, there's some things that I received, and then I do have some things that I got for myself. So, oh, and what I'm going to cast on from a pre-order that I have been anticipating since the knitwear designer said that she was going to publish another book. So, with all those things, I'll get started. I'll show my scarf, and it came out like I feel like it's definitely well done, and the more I weave, the more things I learn about my loom, the more techniques that um I get like more acclimated to doing certain things and techniques, and the way that the color interacts with other colors, because I do like having a mixture of colors, and I like using a lot of solids too. Um, and that goes across the board for different types of fiber projects, or maybe heathered or tweed, depending on what I'm going for. So I like to build on those colors or the foundations, and then on top of that I might use another one to blend it, and it gives it more dimension. So this is a really long scarf. You could wrap it around twice and it'll still be long, because when I wrap it around twice it still reaches a little past my hips. I'm I'm not tall, so I'm 5'2", and this is a giant scarf because I love either really long scarves that don't lose length when you like wrap it around, or I like the cowls that you just like pop on. So I am so happy that I finished it. Honestly, like when it was on the loom, um, when you finish it and you see the finished product, and you could soak it when you're finished, but um, I haven't soaked it yet, but it just looks of a more of a classic piece than what I was anticipating, which is completely like acceptable for me. I love the way the like a knitted or like woven or a a fiber project accessory garment just can really make something look so traditional or sophisticated or classic, whatever you want to, whatever adjective you want to put on it. Um, I will show you how long it is. And sorry, it is really, really long. And I love my tassels long too. So what I usually like to do with these types of scarves is that I'll fold it over and then I'll tuck it in. Either that or I'll wrap it around twice and then it'll either hang or I can tie it in front. I could give like an example. Let me just show it 1 second. I didn't put it through yet, but so I folded it in half and um, now I'll tuck it in. I was really happy that there was, so they do warn you about this, that sometimes like there are knots in the yarn. Like if the company was like something split and then maybe there's a knot like where they tied it. It was towards the last repeat where there was a knot that I didn't really take into account. I probably did notice it, but I'm like, it's gonna be fine. And then it just like undid itself, so I retied it, and I'm like, I don't want it to really be in the project and then potentially affect the integrity of the scarf. So I finished that the repeat that I was doing, and I just stopped it there, and it was perfect. It's still insanely mega long, so I'm not worried about it. Like, and some people may just be like, why is it so long? And I'm like, I love long scarves. I will eventually get a floor loom where I could do larger projects. I really love blankets, like scarf blankets that are really wide. I like the wider ones, and I like rectangular shawls. Um, and I can pull that over. This is good too. This is like a 15-inch loom, but I didn't do the last four on each side. I made the pattern sequence up. It's definitely like a artistic thing where I just feel like it gets my brain going with how I want the scarf to be, and I can make up the different sequences, and it you can really make it your own. Of course, you could do that with any type of art, but it is fun for me to do, and I enjoy it. So, like, sorry, I just keep talking. So, what I did, I put it through here, and it has this still hanging, and of course, I could, hold on. So, of course, with the webcam, it kind of goes in and out with different, when I show different things. So I didn't tighten it all the way up here, but that's what I usually do because it's just really easy. And then this goes past my hips because it's so long, but I love it. The other way I'll show before I do it the way that I was about to show. You can also, I guess, wear it like I don't know what you call those, like over your head, because it is wide enough to do that too, and just wrap it around, and you could even wear it like as kind of like a what do you call those things? like a band, but let me keep going and because I just keep playing with the scarf. So you could kind of have it through the front and then tie it. I kind of didn't do a lot of adjusting, but you could tie it through the front and then, sorry, it's like 10 minutes and I'm still talking about my scarf. And obviously fix it. Or if you don't want to fix it, that's completely okay too. Adrian, stop being a bitch. I wasn't trying to. Um, and this is still like reaches my hips. It goes past my hips, like where the tassels start. It's like where my hips are, and they're still long tassels because it's a long scarf. Or you could put these in the back. They do have like this is also an Irish pearl ring that I got from the Irish store a while back. Oh, and before I don't mention it, I made a bracelet the other day. It was technically two bracelets. So this is coral, and my grandmother gave me her bracelet and pendant. I didn't take apart the pendant, but the coral is real. The bracelet wasn't. So I wanted to wear it and I wanted to make it from something that I wouldn't get like a reaction from. So I went to a metaphysical shop and I chose a bracelet that spoke to me. It ended up being carnelian, which I thought was really perfect. I love just like picking those things out and it's kind of a surprise and then you get to get the different messages and meanings. So, it was, one of the meanings was courage, and I feel like it really is fitting. So, the reason why I have it not um, kind of integrated within each other is because I didn't have the coral bracelet when I was at the store, and so I didn't see how much of a contrast it would be. So I ended up putting the carnelian beads surrounding it, the coral, and I feel like I really love it like this. It looks like more unique, and I feel like I don't know if I'm getting the jewelry bug because I don't have like many supplies, but I could make other like simple bracelets. I think that it would be fun. Not any specific ones right now, but it kind of reminds me of like a snake. So snake energy, and that is nice too because snakes are like traditionally associated with healers. They have other meanings too, but I like that it kind of goes with that. And I I just really love it. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the pendant yet, but that's okay. So this is my scarf. I really love the way that it turned out. It came out richer and like more traditional than I thought it was going to be, but I feel like it is super fitting and um, I'm extremely happy with it. So I'm gonna talk about other stuff now. Well, maybe I'll talk about the sea spirit and then the sea spirit scarf and then I'll show the other things. I wanted to show the yarn that I'll be using for my sea spirit scarf. And the vision that I have for the sea spirit scarf is I want it to be from the shoreline to the ocean, but not like necessarily the deeper or darker depths of the ocean. But and like the spirit aspect of it too, it'll be more ethereal, like more misty. I will make it a tartan scarf, but I don't want it to have as high contrast as other scarves that I've made, and in general, I would like it to have some type of flow. And as I said, I like to build on the color because I gradually buy these colors over time because um, I use a lot of yarn for my tartan scarves. I would say it's probably one of the biggest investments that I have for my fiber projects because of how long I want it. If I ever gift a scarf or like maybe sell one, maybe I'll make it half the size because it is really long. Well, the scarves that I like for myself are really long. So it's a lot of product. But I usually don't use the whole thing, but I use quite a bit. But the nice thing about it is like it kind of the yarn just disappears from your stash because you put so much into it, into the warp. I have the yarn in my IKEA bag right now. So I have some of the weft and warp. And then there's another one from another project. So I'll show that yarn because it's still on that project. So this is a hand-dyed, hand-spun yarn from a farm in West Virginia. And the colorway is in Luna. I'm sorry, I'm trying to think as if it's like Bridget's Cart Farm. I usually have the tag on me. But if you ever want to see them, they should be at the Waterford Fair in Virginia, which is coming up, I think, next month because that's when all the fairs are coming up, like when it gets cooler and all the knitters are like excited. And I am like, maybe if I'm not moving yet, then I could pop in to see the guild. Um, so they've been there for the last 2 years that I was there. And it's more of like a historical type of fair. Um, a lot of a lot of Native American influence there too, which is fantastic. When I saw this, I just fell in love with it. I used it for another project that I'll show in a second. That'll be more of like the shell, and like there's gonna be some shine, there's gonna be like some mist and aquatic colors that kind of play or integrate within each other. Sorry, that sounded suggestive. I have some scraps. I was thinking maybe I would use this. It has a little bit of a shine, so it kind of reminds me of shell. I might stack these colors on top of each other because a lot of times I use some colors in the warp but not in the weft. Sometimes I use both of them in the warp and weft. Like this color, I have two of these. They're all wool. Some of them are superwash, some of them are non-superwash, but that's okay because I tend to hand wash my projects anyway if I do. But for my non-superwash, they have like some different magical properties. So this is the Baraco Ultra Wool, 100% superwash wool. And so it definitely has more dimension to it. It's like an aquatic yellow green. I have two of these to, so it's not the right one, to go in the warp and in the weft because I just fell in love with them. And then I have the Cascade Yarns 220 Superwash Merino, 100% Superwash Merino wool. This, oh sorry, this colorway is color 33161. So this one is in the colorway color number 90. It's cut off, but I'm assuming it says pastel turtle. That might be completely not what it is because it has TUR. You know what? It's probably turquoise actually. But it's like it looks like an icy baby blue. No, not a baby blue. An icy blue. Like glacier blue. And that would be in the warp. I'm thinking maybe this will be in the weft. So these two are Patagonias. Well, these three are Patagonias. So it's showing up darker on the webcam, but it is more of a muted baby blue. So this one, I wanted it to show in the scarf more. So this is in Patagonia Icicle, and the colors are different, but they aren't so drastic, and I really didn't want it to be a drastic color or drastic scarf. I really wanted to go for like the spirit, the mistiness of this, like the spirit of the scarf, and this is what it is so far. That's closer to what it would be. It's light blue, and so it's gonna overlay these. And I like how they're yarns too. As I said, those are ones that I also go for. So these two are also Patagonia. So I really like this one, and I have less of it, so it'll be most likely for the weft. Um, and there are like gray undertones with this one, which is kind of what I was gonna go for. This one has more of like shell or like yellow undertones that kind of remind me of sand, but this one is kind of ghostly, so in the best way. This one is in the colorway Pearl. I've had this for a long time, I've used it for some things because it's from my friend's yarn shop when she used to have a yarn shop. She's in the guild too, so let me see. This one is in the colorway Ivory. So I don't know if you could see any difference, but they are different. And I'm thinking I might overlay it. I may just use both of them in the weft. I'll see. And then I have this one, which this, like when I saw it, I was like so drawn to it. And this one I'm thinking I could put it in the warp too. I'm still thinking about it because you move your reed a lot, so I just like to take that into consideration of like the strengths of the yarn. So this one is in fog, and sorry, it's Lucky Tweed, and I didn't show the tags of any of them. So that one's Lucky Tweed. Let me show the other tag, at least one of the tags for Patagonia. This is just, as it says, there's like some specks in there, like tweed of blues, some pale pinks. I really love this one. And this one is one of the more pricier ones here, so I try not to do the whole thing as a super pricey project. Patagonia is pretty like decently priced, at least if you're I mean, whatever you want your budget to be, but one of the things that is important when I'm making a project is like how much is it going to be when I am making it, because I like to gather yarn over time, and then a lot of times what I do is like I get excited for like maybe new yarn that comes in, but I also am happy to use the stuff that I have in stash. So I kind of do a combination of, I'm gonna combine like the new yarn with the old yarn because I do mainly color work. So that's like um it's the great thing about color work is like you can really stash bust with it. So this is like a Patagonia tag. It's one of the ones that don't look mangled. And it's going to be exciting because it's been in a bag, but then again, as I said, when you like put the stuff together to put it on your loom, it's like the yarn just like disappears. And that's kind of the fun thing about your fiber projects too. So I'm not too worried about like storage. So it's gonna be something like that, but I'm gonna go through like the sequences that I might want for my pattern. I tend to like having like those thicker parts of the tartan pattern where it'll be like maybe 14, and then there are thinner parts like maybe 3, 6. But I am just so super excited to do it, and there's going to be space to do it because I was trying to even do it when I was in my apartment, and because I needed to make sure that there was space to actually set up my warp. I don't have a warping board or anything, but it's okay. Let me just go somewhere. Okay, I keep adjusting my hair, but I do have two things that I got. So I actually found this like it people are feeling the fall, and like coming it's going into the Halloween season. So I love the fall season. It's like when I was born. But besides that, I love the weather. I love all the decorations and the festive things. I don't know how festive it is necessarily in Europe, but I'll see. I found a hat that actually like I liked because usually hats are hard to keep on my head. So this one is a strawberry witchy hat, and let me show you. And it is just so fun. Let me put it on. Okay, it's kind of dark for this, but it is like that. And it's so cute and fun. So I really love it. Um, and I'm not sure what I will do. I'm usually like, I don't get super dressed up for Halloween, but I will say most years I'm like either a cat or something like I could just pop on. This could just be like a fun thing to have, and um, I do want to make some clothes. I have that urge to like do clothes and jewelry and make all these things. And maybe that'll be like something that I do a lot when I move. Sorry, I just um because I actually think it's really cool that this bracelet is actually something that is custom and it's what I was trying to get out of the piece. So the other thing that I got is this bag. It's kind of frilly. It is frilly. It is frilly. So it is this, and so let me just show it so you could see the frills on here, and I just thought it was so fun. There's the other side that there's like the bow and the there's like a chain here with like different pendants on it, which is fun. So I could wear it either side. And the main thing with me is like, especially now, I really want stuff that has a zipper. So what I did was like, I I just have my makeup bag here. So this is I'll just spell it out. The KUSSHI, and it's a, a good quality makeup bag that you can wash and then you can put inserts in to make it more organized because they come in different sizes, which is cool. But I have a bag within a bag, so this is like one of my Lantern Moon sock project bags that I popped in for sure nothing gets out of it because it is like really tightly just closed up, and it'll be for the it's mainly for like the small things that I don't want to fall out of my bag. And then I put that on, I put my makeup bag on top, and then it is fun, and I just thought it was something cute. I don't usually like get other bags. Like it takes me a little bit, I know, as I show you my other bags, but like actual like purses, I'm picky about because I don't switch my bags a lot, so I want the bags to kind of be a little universal, so I could wear it with one thing or another thing. Um, that I I felt that this was like a little seasonal too. Oh yeah, and they commented on my boxing gloves too. I thought that was it's really fun. I keep my keys like on the outside because there's just a lot going on with it that I kind of don't want to have it get stuck and then I yank out because sometimes that you just are like whatever with it. I'm just like fuck it, I'm just gonna rip it out, and it something ends up getting broken. But I think it's gonna be really fun to use, as I have said many times. So I will also post like another video log. I think that they're fun, and I show me taking my project off of my loom, and it's nice to unravel it to see how the project is after all that time of weaving it. So I to be honest, I forget like what that segue was for, but I am going to paint more. I have my deck that I'm going to paint for, and um, I will paint other paintings too. So there was a child that did play with my cats, and my godmother asked if I could paint her a picture of the black cat. And I'm like, I'm assuming that's Gary because Gary is the social one. So I will paint it, and I think I'm going to put it in my deck anyway. So I'm going to take a picture of it, and then I'm going to start like piecing my deck together. Um, then it was my godmother's birthday yesterday, and so she's been wanting me to paint her something. I got these paintbrushes. They're just standard paintbrushes, but I really go for the tiny ones for the details. And I just get the cheap ones because, well, I get the ones that like I like the paintbrushes, like not the two like the big ones because I tend to like to like do the detailed stuff on it. Not saying that one's better than the other, it's just like the style of painting that I do. Um, because I don't take care of my brushes and shield your ears. I have said this. As I said, I don't take care of my brushes and I have them soaking in water for a while. And that's why I was thinking, like, maybe Adrian don't. Because I saw, like, the paintbrushes that are, like, handmade, like, in Ukraine, and I would just feel like a dick if I just kind of, bought them and they're so well made and like delicate. They specifically say don't like soak it in water, and then me being like the person that I am, I'm like, I'm really putting all this effort to clean my brushes. I know, um, but I I do really think that that's like insane that they're made out of like cat hair and stuff. I do have this mug that I'm just gonna fill with water and start painting with. I showed this in another video. I got it from the store. And I like the flowers. And this is, oh yeah, this is another chocolate that it's my last piece. They have a lot of like dairy-free chocolate, which I'm, I mean, I don't know, I'm kind of surprised about because I feel like dairy is more prevalent, if I'm not mistaken, in that area, but maybe they use it for specific things and like preserve it for those specific things, and so they make their chocolate out of other things, which is like the best thing for me because I'm like, oh my God, I'm reading these and they don't have milk in it. So, um, I feel like maybe it's the coffee. But I do have this magnet. I got it a while ago. I liked it, but I also needed to get to $10 for my purchase. This is a Ukraine magnet. You could, put it on your fridge. I'm gonna take it out of the plastic. It's wooden. I don't know what it says. It says it's made in Ukraine. I actually put it on my hotel fridge, and I thought it was so cute on it, but I took it off because I didn't want to forget it, and I was like, damn. Um, Oh, and I might go to the thrift store tomorrow to get frames for the paintings, and then um, because I like thrifting and I like finding like the little treasures and the unique things that maybe like aren't in stores at the moment, and you can get it at a quarter of the price, probably even less than that. I was also looking to see another, like, see if I can find another suitcase there. The main suitcase that I use is from a thrift store too, and I got it for like $10, like years ago. I still use it. It's still standing strong. It is in probably the worst condition, but I've used it for so long. And now that my godmother gave me a suitcase, I can be a little gentler with the one that I have because I put it through everything. Like, it's kind of disgusting at this point. I had to clean it. Um, but I say that because it was like laying on the hotel floor, and honestly, Adrian, shut up. So anyway, I will get like and it was nothing. That comment was nothing against the hotel. The hotel was accommodating. When I stayed there for the past like 3 months, um, I was just saying it because in general, it's like it's just been laying on the floor and laying on another floor and laying in my car and just everywhere. So I had to sanitize it. I should have done it a while ago. Then, should I show my book that I've been heavily anticipating? And then I'll show some finished objects that, well, another finished object that I showed in a video log. But and then maybe I might show my other books because not in this video, maybe. It's already 42 minutes, but I am over the moon with the book that arrives, and I've been waiting for this book ever since Jenna Costet announced that she was going to publish another knitting book, knitting pattern book. It's the Knitted Kalevala Volume 2. I'm already gonna say, like, if I mention or like I talk about like any of the patterns, and I say some words that are like the Finnish words, definitely don't quote me on it. It is probably like the worst pronunciation, and I'm sorry in advance. So it is this book, and when I like was just, oh my god, it was just such uh, a dream to have. And I have my other knitting books because I was like trying to decide what decks to bring on the plane as a check-in most likely, and maybe some carry-on. And I'm really prioritizing the ones that are kind of like on the rarer side and that I also use a lot so I can have them more readily available. And then I might have some shipped like within a week or like a day that I'm there. And then like with the knitting books, I am prioritizing ones that I use a lot too. And a lot of them like you can get in Europe, I think it more easily than I can get here. And um sorry, my voice cracked. And so some of them might just be shipped as well, but I do love my knitting books. And a lot of my yarn is most I can't find my yarn box. It's definitely in my storage unit, but I just haven't gotten to it. It's like in the very, very, very far back, and I can't reach it. So it's probably a good thing too because I probably would have gotten like 20 skeins out of it and been like, wonder how I can fit it into my luggages because I already have some yarn here. So that's definitely okay. But anyway, I course, this is my most used book. It's the Knitted Kalevala Volume 1. And then these are both here. Oh my god. The only thing is, and it's completely just a me problem, because like it's really dirty. I've like dragged it along a lot of places. So, but it's okay. Because at least like it's an off-white, so it kind of blends the dirt in. Adrian, you're disgusting. But then I have this one. Mm, and if you want to read the back, or maybe I'll read the back. So it says, there's like 40, it's 45 minutes. Right. Knitted Kalevala II follows in the footsteps of Jenna Kostet's first knitting book, an international bestseller published in 2022. Continuing her journey into the world of mythology, tradition, and stories, this sequel promises to captivate knitters and folklore enthusiasts alike. This book contains 20 color work patterns inspired by poems from the Kalevala, which is considered a national epic in Finland. From sweaters and cardigans to cozy accessories, this collection offers a diverse array of designs, showcasing various shapes and constructions. The stories the poems tell come to life in color work featured in the yoke, hem, or sleeves, using all worked using only 2 colors at a time. And then there's a quote from her. Most knitters would agree that crafting increases your happiness. Even if we aren't rune singers, we are still part of an endless chain of tradition. And I'm happy because I did test knit one of the patterns. I might get it to show in the video. But I test knit the Hunting of the Elk of Skis. Wait, no. Hunting of the Elk of Sea on Skis. So that is the pattern name, and so this is the pattern. As soon as she asked like for test knitters and I saw it, I just immediately went for it. I've done a couple of her test knits, and I'm actually going to show my progress on the test knit that I showed last time. That is from her too. So this is the pattern. I'll show mine, but I wanted to show what I'm going to cast on as a celebration for this new book, and because I finished my project that I've had on my loom for such a long time. It's another aquatic one for me. So it exists. Just it's so I don't see an English translation, but it's the Sariola. And this is the pattern here. If you could see that. And the yarn that I got for it is actually yarn that I got on sale. It was the other day. I wasn't really planning on getting this yarn, but I was trying to go to the yarn store that has the Patagonia because I wanted to knit the Retrosaria Brusca, the red colorway with, it's one of the red colorways with the Patagonia because it's like an inexpensive yarn and I used it a lot for like as a main color for different garments. And so when I got there, it's a military family, so they were away, which is completely okay. I feel like maybe it was like meant to be because the last time I was there, I was like, you may not see me because I'll be moving. I'm just waiting for my visa. And maybe it's like true to that. I love Patagonia yarn. I do feel like I can get another non-superwash in the UK for sure that I'll fall in love with too. So I went to another store because I was surprisingly close to one of these yarn stores that I'm not usually close to. I say not usually that close to. I was like half an hour away, which is close to how I usually am when I'm at, well, like when I want to go there. So because I was like getting my car cleaned and detailed, and um, they have so many sales there and I'm not sure why they have so many sales, but I'm not complaining. They have like they have a yarn section that's like 30 to like 70% off, and it's insane. And I've gotten so many like just really nice quality yarns there for sale. I usually get like sale yarn. Like majority of my yarn stash is probably sale yarn, and I feel like that's fine because I'm not like super picky aside from it mainly being on superwash. Sometimes I combine it, but for the most part, I like to have my garments at least mm, for the main color to be non-superwash for the different reasons. It's at 52 minutes right now. So they were having like this, I guess it was a summer sale where like it was like going on for a week, and depending on what day you would go, you would either get like 20% off, 30, 40, or 50. There might have been more percentages, but I was like I got there, it's 30% off. I wasn't gonna get there another day, so I was like, okay, I'll just pick out yarn that's on the fancier side that I probably wouldn't have gotten if it wasn't on sale. So I am down with it and I'm really happy that I got it. So, um, this is the yarn. I just love the way that the color is because I was doing like this and I was seeing like what color would I feel like it would be super nice to wear. And it is like more aquatic colors. I am gravitating towards a lot of them lately. Um, this is the sorry. It is the lore. Wait. The lore wool as story. 100% Kent lamb's wool, sourced and produced in England. The Fiber Co. It's 100 grams in the colorway Heaven. So I just thought it was like so spot on. Because I've been doing a lot of like, I love my fairy decks. I love like fairy things. I also have been doing a lot of angel workings, not because I don't want to, or, well, obviously I have some affinity to it because I'm doing it, but I've been doing a lot of like Ukrainian-based readings, and I, based off of like maybe some that watch it that might be more um, hesitant or a little more reserved, and not in a bad way because I know like religion, spirituality is like touchy for some, which is completely okay and I understand. I wanted it to be more accessible and more enjoyable, more comfortable, so I've been doing more angel readings. And again, I don't mind it. So I feel like this kind of goes with the theme too. And I was able to get three of them because they only had three, but I was also like, that's just what I need. I'm probably going to steek it and make it into a cardigan. So I do end up making a lot of my projects into cardigans anyway because I use them a lot more than my other garments. And I did pair it with, it looks like a sand because I was thinking, should I do a beige? But again, with like the water theme, and there's like a vision that I get like kind of like a safe haven that is like on the shoreline for when I do my readings and when I go into like these different places when my soul travels. So that's like one of those things. And I feel like it will be just a really lovely combination. They also spun it up for me because I was like, my stuff is kind of meh. So if you want to spin it up, please, I really appreciate it. And it's less of a hassle for me. Not like it's a hassle. I don't mind spinning yarn. So it's BC Garn, Bio Shetland, 100% pure organic wool. So this wasn't on sale, but it was a cheaper yarn, and it's also only 50 grams. So I, I felt that that was fine. Oh, and it is in oatmeal. That is pretty close to what the color is. And then when you pair it with this, I just felt like it would be so beachy. Then maybe I'll show the project towards the end. I just don't want to forget about it. But I'll have to move a couple of things. So I'm going to bring the two Kalevala books with me. Then the third one I'm going to bring is my Portuguese knitting book. I love this book. Um, I haven't I haven't knit many patterns from it, but I love like the historical references, the different techniques, the different Portuguese knitting traditional Portuguese knitting techniques. And there's a specific pattern in here that I've knit multiple times and I just love it. I love it. I just keep knitting it. They actually have that to show, which I've shown in a video long, but I could show it here too. So just um, quickly, so this is a finished tarot bag using the charts from the Garden Sampler cowl, and it has the crucifix that I was gifted, so I just keep it at the top, and it has the Slavic Legends tarot that I kept with it. Then in this bag, which is an Emma Ball bag, I love these bags because they're really large. Um, so I At first when I got them and when I got my first one, I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. There's so much space in here, but now I just fill it to the brim. There's actually two projects in here, but usually I just have one project and it fills it up. So this is what I have for my test knit, and I just needed to I just needed to separate for the sleeves and I did modify it. So I'm going to do a full length body because I may wear it. I do love the way that it is. I also maybe might not keep it. So I'll see. It's a unisex pattern. I have my apple stitch mark stitch wait needle stoppers, and it's coming along. I'm not going to buy yarn for this because the inspiration for Jenna Costet is that she wanted to use yarn that she had in stash. So it'll most likely be a short sleeve since it's a unisex sweater and since it's going to be a full size sweater. I feel like it'll be a fantastic gift if I do end up gifting it. I may end up keeping it because I do love it. Um, it's just kind of one of those things where I'm just like, I like to have stuff on hand because I end up just like, you know, I don't know. I I end up like, you know, doing my thing with it. So the other project that's in here is I have this fork from the pierogi place, and it was just I don't know because when I went there, it was just such an experience because I've never had like pierogies that were like they just like melted in your mouth kind of, and I just think about it and I'm like, wow. I really love the vegan pierogies. As I said before, it's really hard to replicate cheese. And sometimes like the cheese, I've tried many different vegan cheeses and I only go for a very, 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 very select few. It might just be a personal preference too, but sometimes it just tastes like as if like you've never had cheese before and that's what you think the cheese would be. And I feel like one of the things that they tried to do is really embody like the smell of cheese. And I'm just like, I don't know, I don't really need that as much. Maybe some people might. So I guess like again, personal preference, but I was just so floored that they had vegan pierogies and with like the cheese and potatoes, and it's delicious. I really love the potatoes and onion one too, and you can get different toppings, and they also have the sweet ones too, which I've never heard of before, and they're delicious. And um, I had like the pierogies the next day because I took some home, like the potato and onion ones, because I wanted to try the vegan ones first to make sure that like I liked it because I was the most like curious about that one. Oh my God, it's over an hour, so I'm gonna quickly do it. But um, I'm just so like they're so good. But the other project, because I could just keep talking about the pierogies. Oh yeah, I ate the onion and potato one, and I don't mind. Like I'm not a picky eater usually if it's within the realm of like the food that I eat. And so, sometimes I'll be like, oh, I really like this, or I like this. But I don't know if I've ever had like something where it was like, whoa, that was just amazing. And I had it the next day, and I still had that reaction for it. Okay, so the other project that I have before I keep talking about pierogies is another Algebira bag. This is going to be like a much larger bag. So I'm using the hand spun, hand dyed yarn from Bridget's Cart Farm. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I think I mentioned it in my video log too, so sorry if it's not. I really want to give credit because I do know them, and the one of well, the wife is in the guild too, so I know who she is, and I love the yarn. So I love the how delicate it is and the colors. This is closer to the colors in the original Ajibira bag or pouch that's in the Portuguese knitting book. It's also using another one of her yarns because she um, made, or she is the, or I guess maker. Sorry, I was maker. I know it's her yarn, so I'm not exactly sure the process, but it's her yarn. And it's the Retrosaria, but it's a different one that she uses. But this one I saw in person because there were other colors, and I've always wanted to try the Retrosaria, and um, I I love it so much. It's one of my favorite rustic yarns. It as soon as I started knitting it, like it has again, it's I don't well, in another video I mentioned it. It's it's a strong yarn and it's a rustic yarn. It has a softness to it. It's kind of like a wet softness if or a cool softness. But when you knit it and it's strong, it doesn't feel like so dense or it doesn't feel like there's a reason why it's like really strong like in a ropey way because it still has like a flow or like a flexibility to it or like when you're knitting it still it has that give to it. I only say that because like I've used other yarns like maybe different types of cotton yarn like have like big differences on how they knit up. Um, but before I like end this video because it's already really long, I'm gonna show my test knit that I made a while back for that's in the Knitted Kalevala II, one of the test knits that I did for the Finnish knitwear designer. Okay, I will have to say I really kind of dubbed this like my most regal knit just because of like how the colors are and the knit. It just is like chef's kiss. It's so beautiful. I am like blown away. I love the pattern. I love color work. I am drawn to the type of color work that she has because of like the roots of it, of what the inspiration comes from, and also I like large like bodies of color work. I like heavy color work, if not the whole thing being color work. I just feel like it's such a statement. It looks more intricate, but in reality, if you know the different techniques and you know like how to do it, it really isn't bad. And depending on how you knit color work, because I knit it with both my hands, and so it just makes it like go so much faster. Like I feel like it's the fastest way that I knit. So that's another plus for me. And but if I knit something else, one, I probably won't like it as much, just like the actual knitting process of it. So then I'll kind of be like a baby about it and I'll be like, I'll just go back to my color work. But I will say I love cabling and as I keep saying like 10 times, I love color work. So this is um the one that is from the Knitted Kalevala II. I didn't weave in my ends. I just feel like it's for me to see and nobody else. So The reason why it's such a regal knit is because when the colors are in sunlight, especially this is the Ella Ray Cozy Alpaca, and I do love that yarn too. I got a bunch of it on sale from my friend's yarn shop, and then there's another sales section for another yarn shop that I go to, and they had quite a bit of it, and I was like, I really love the way that it knits up. So I love how, don't look at that, I didn't weave that part in, but it's washing out right now, so you can't necessarily see how vibrant it is. But when it hits sunlight, especially this yellow gold, well, this gold with the blue, it is like literal gold on your clothing. And that was one of like the inspirations for another test knit, not test knit, oh my god. For another, this is a test knit for another scarf that I have. I really wanted to make like a gemstone rainbow type of scarf that wasn't necessarily like I don't really do a lot of super bright colors, but I like colors, but I like the warmth of colors. Like I like warm rainbows, if that makes sense. That sounds weird, but um, I did have more. I put more negative ease on mine because I like mine fitting a certain way. I tend to gravitate towards negative ease than positive ease, but it is just it kind of feels like I don't know if I want to say like heavenly or angelic in a way, but the way that the yellow is, it is really like it shines like gold. It's the color gold. But if you can get a vision of it, and then maybe one day I could show it like in the sunlight, so you could get a grasp of like what it is, and it looks so magical, and even the pattern itself. When I saw it, I was like it because it looks like you know the sky, and I had to read what the I know it like in the testament she was telling us about what the color work is about, but it looks like sky deer or moose and Arctic or just a little heavenly or golden or regal, as I said. So the video's really long. I might show other knitting books that I have on me in the future, but so far these are the three books that I am going to be taking with me. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you. I've been posting frequently, so I'll see you